What's it like to be a professional inside the sport? And you know, you guys probably know more than anybody what really goes on. Perhaps perception is worse than reality. I don't know. But what's it like watching the sport and these negative stories come out, the headlines come out, cycling is a dirty sport, blah, blah, blah. How do you deal with that being a professional inside the sport?
Honestly, there were times last year where it was embarrassing to be a cyclist. And, you know, people come up and ask whether I was on the plane or, you know, family, friends or something where they'd say, you know, what do you do? And I'm a bike racer. And then immediately they'd start asking stories, you know, what about such and such a story about this rider taking this drug? Do you think it really happened? Da 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 da. You're like, cycling is a fantastic sport. It's a sport that I've been passionate about since I was 5 years old, and I always will be extremely passionate about it, and I always ride my bike, and I hope that, you know, the sport can transcend all these issues, and we can move forward, and just people will realize, you know, hopefully in the next year I can say I'm a cyclist, and people will go, oh, that's cool, you know, I saw such and such a race on TV, and, you know, what happened here, this was really exciting to watch. And there are so many elements to cycling that are tremendous, and I hope the public starts to see that instead of just this black cloud of drugs.
Do you think there's a perception within your colleagues, the Peloton, that there's a lot at stake this season? Do you discuss that as riders when you discuss informally when you're riding perhaps or training? Do you guys talk about these kinds of issues?
I think every cyclist knows that it's going to be a big year of transition in the sport, and I mean, we talk about the issues, the political issues, in cycling we talk about the doping issues in cycling. It's natural, it's the environment we work in, and but 2007 is going to be a big year for cycling, and hopefully we can do this interview next year, and it'll be, the sport will be in a totally different place than it is right now. Mm-hmm. And it's really up to the athletes to make that happen, the athletes and the teams obviously too. So.
Mm-hmm. Just for you personally, last year I know you had a really bad crash at the Tour of Flanders. How are you right now physically? Are you back to 100%?
Yeah, I feel good again. It took me a good 6 weeks to get back to a decent level of fitness, and I felt by the Dauphiné I was on the same, pretty close to the same level I was before the Tour of Flanders. And so, you know, we've been doing a lot of core strength in the off-season, not just, you know, I haven't just been working in the gym, but also, you know, on fit balls, yoga mats, and that sort of thing. I was working with a friend in Boulder who, you know, come to the house and help me with those exercises. And then with the team, we've been doing it every morning before training, and then also in the evening after the training, we've been doing core work. So I think that's actually going to be beneficial to a lot of the riders on the team, and it's something that's new for almost everybody. And I think, you know, it's helped my back out a lot, and it's actually, I think, going to make me a more powerful bike rider as well.
And a final question, I mean, you've done a lot in your career. Is there something that's still unaccomplished for you that you still hope to achieve in these last couple of years of your career? I mean, you still have a few years left in your career, but what do you hope to achieve?
Well, you know, racing a good Tour de France is one of them. And then, honestly, like, I just hope to have a positive impact on the sport. And there are a lot of young kids on this team, and it's weird being almost a veteran now, I guess. I guess I can race as a vet in America.
Yeah, exactly.
A master or whatever.
Right.
But,
you can race till you're 50.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, there's, when I look back on my career, that I've had, obviously the victories are highlights, but there are moments in training, in races, that maybe the public doesn't see as astounding or whatever. They don't recognize those efforts, but they've been moments to me personally that have made my career really worthwhile, and friendships I've had in that as well. So in the coming years, you know, I have objectives within the sport, but also the biggest thing is every year I go into the season and just want to improve, learn more, and be a better cyclist. And if I do that, then I'll accomplish my goals.
All right, great. Thanks, Michael.